Yeah. Oh yeah, I took another picture of the dog statue. It looks pretty cool. I don't know what this dog is supposed to be. Maybe it's supposed to be one of the winds. Here we go. This is what I was talking about. So you can ride those canoes all the way through this the Torii Gate. This is a massive Torii Gate in the water. Yeah, you can see the person for scale, just how big this is. I'm not sure how they built this in the water. I think they must have built it during like low tide. I think, I'm not positive about this, but I think the water recedes during low tide, and that must have been when they built it. But that's still pretty impressive. Will you allow me to boot my nose? Yes, you can boot my nose. Yes, yes. But yes, this is the most famous part of Itsukushima. It's probably the most famous part of Hiroshima in general. But there's a lot of parts of Hiroshima that I liked. I really, really wanted to go to the Yamato Museum. Unfortunately, I didn't have time. Also, I forgot that it was here until one of my friends mentioned it. But again, even if I would have remembered it, I would not have had enough time. So let's bring in some more images of Itsukushima. Itsukushima, you can spend an entire day here. There's a lot of stuff you can do on this island. There's like some parks and stuff. I tried to go to the park, but about halfway to the park, I realized I just did not have enough time. There's a botanical garden, apparently. I didn't see that. There's another image of the shrine in the water. But yeah, it was a pretty cool place. Pretty picturesque. Would recommend Hiroshima. So this is in Itsukushima as well. On the way to the park I was going to, I saw this 5-story pagoda. Oh, Einhard, hello. How are you doing? Did I visit any of the funny churches? Yes, I did. I did. I also donated to the the Moria Shrine, the Suwa Taisha, and to the what is it? Hirakawa-go Shrine. They were anime pilgrimage sites, so I had to, right? The Higurashi Shrine, basically. So I think there's only 2 5-story pagodas in Japan. I may be wrong about that. Donating to Moria. That's much shrine in there. Yep. I went to a couple of shrines, but it was mostly towards the beginning when I was going to my anime pilgrimages. I can show those off again, too. In case you missed the last stream, let me bring this up. This is the Moria Shrine, or part of the Moria Shrine in Suwa. It has a whole bunch of Toho stuff there. And then Shirakawa-go has the Higurashi Shrine. Let's see. It's kind of hard to see with that, actually. Let me get the other image. So this one here. With all the Higurashi characters. Yeah, so those were the 2 pilgrimages that I had to go to. Yeah, so like I said, I think that there's only 2 5-story pagodas in Japan. And this is the other one. The other one being in Toji Temple, which I showed in the last stream. Actually, let me Google that right quick. 5-story pagoda, Japan. Let's see. Oh no, there's some more. There's some more. There is one in Nara. Horyuji Temple. That's not helping me. Let's see. How many are there? 5-story pagodas is a novella. I don't care about that. Well, you know what? I guess it doesn't really matter. Can look that up later. Am I doing a prayer on the shrine? I didn't really pray at the shrine. I just donated some money. I did bow to the shrines, but that's about it. Alright, let me get back to the other images I had. So, I made it to Shirai Tono Falls, is that right? No, Momichi-Dani Park. So I got around here and realized that if I didn't get back to Hiroshima immediately, I would run out of time to see the other things that I wanted to see. So, I walked back all the way through here to the harbor, and I went back to wherever this is, I guess. Was it this one or was it this one? I don't remember. I think it might be this one, actually. So I took another train ride back to Hiroshima, and from Hiroshima, I decided to go get lunch first, because it was actually getting close to about noon. Can I say if you are cute? Thank you, thank you. I don't think I'm that cute, though, but thank you. I appreciate it. So, Hiroshima Castle. I was gonna come see Hiroshima Castle. I wanted to see the Atom Bomb Dome, and I wanted to see the Peace Memorial Park. But before all of that, I needed to eat lunch. So, when my friends were here back in, let me see. I had some friends that came to Japan back in like late January, early February, and they recommended me one restaurant in Japan called Okonomiyaki Momiji Te. What was it? Okonomiyaki Teppanyaki Momiji Te, I think it's what it was called. Okonomiyaki Teppanyaki. There it is. Right here. This place is delicious. This was the best, one of the best meals I had in Japan. I think I liked the steak I had in Nara more, but this was the best okonomiyaki I've ever had. Now here's the thing. I've had Osaka okonomiyaki before, and what are you guys talking about? Oh, Yes, you can pitch me. Anyway, I've had I can't believe you didn't just go full konbini. I don't think I ever bought any mills from konbini. I did buy some like melon pan from konbini, but not like actual mills from konbini. Don't forget to eat sushi and sashimi. I had sushi my last day in Japan at Kurazushi. I had 20 plates of sushi at Kurazushi. Anyway, so I've had okonomiyaki in Osaka, or I've had Osaka-style okonomiyaki in Kyoto, I mean. And it's really good, but it has so much... It's too much flavor, if that makes sense. Like, if you eat too much of something that's too rich, you can only eat a couple bites of it, you know, and you get sick of it. Well, that's what happened to me with Osaka-style okonomiyaki. It tastes fine, but it's something I would have to split with somebody else, because it's too powerful, I should say. This place, however, the okonomiyaki was perfect. I wish I would have gotten the one that had cheese on it now, because I like cheese a lot. I got the standard Hiroshima okonomiyaki. But this place is ran by two guys. Two guys are the only people that work there, and it's delicious. The guys are anime fans, so they have decorated the entire shop with anime goods and stuff, which I really like. But even people that aren't into anime, I would highly recommend coming here because it's delicious. So this is the banner. Did I take a picture of the first floor? I did not. But I wish I would have taken a picture of like the front door, because it's not the main door here, like right below here. It's like it's a small hallway that goes up some stairs, and you have to walk up 2 flights of stairs to get up to here. It's on the 3rd floor. It's a small, hole-in-the-wall restaurant, but it's absolutely delicious. Maybe you should try oyakodon. I've had oyakodon. I've had that a couple of times, I think, before. So these are the guys. This is the teppanyaki. I asked permission to take pictures of them while they were cooking. So Hiroshima-style okonomiyaki is different from Osaka-style Osaka-style okonomiyaki. Osaka-style kind of like blends all the ingredients together, whereas Hiroshima kind of layers them like this. They also use noodles, which I do not remember being in the Osaka-style. This stuff was amazing. Highly recommended. Delicious. Great. Also, the guys that work here are also... they don't really speak English. The guy I spoke to spoke some English. They're very friendly. They're really nice. Highly recommend this place. That being said, you need to check on their website if you ever want to go. Because they're closed 2 days out of the week. And then 1 day out of the week, they only allow locals to come. Because during COVID, the only reason why they did not close down, like they didn't run out of business, was because the locals banded together and came to eat at their restaurant to help them, to keep them from going under. And since Japan opened back up, their restaurant's gotten so popular that the locals can no longer come here. So they've decided to make 1 day out of the week a locals only day, which I thought was really nice of them to do, to give back to the people who gave to them. It was really nice, really nice. This restaurant, delicious. Just check their website before you go, just to make sure you're not going on the locals only day, and that you're going on a day that they're actually open. Because, like I said, they're closed 2 days out of the week. Cool story. Yep. They are a bunch of lads. I like them. They're great. So, let's take a couple of. Let's see. Let's look around their restaurant a bit. So, at the top of where they're cooking, they have a whole bunch of like fan art that I guess people who've eaten there have donated like fan art to. It's a whole bunch of different anime. Like I think some of you guys will recognize some of these things here. There's a whole bunch of Toho stuff here too as well. Like right there. Alif, hello! Yes. How are you doing? Thanks for coming. Memories Lane. I think this is Ellen. Oh, right. One of the okonomiyaki... so actually, 4 of the okonomiyaki that they have there are anime influenced. They have a... they don't say the name of the characters, but they have a blackened silhouette of the characters that it's supposed to be influenced by. I don't remember the other 3, but one of them was Vermilia Scarlet from Toho. It's a garlic okonomiyaki. I guess for... garlic and vampires, I guess. Yeah. Still at work, but it's not bad. Well. Hope you do well at your work. So this was my date for the night. Because where I sat down was right across from this poster. Yamato from Kankore. So stupid. And then I think this is supposed to be Bochi's guitar, right? Like, I'm pretty sure that's what this is. I'm not positive, but that's what it looked like to me. And I was like, I have to take a picture of that now. Why garlic? Because she's a vampire, I guess. Vampires and garlic go hand in hand, no? And then there's a bunch of people that have come from all over the world that have donated like currency from their home countries. You can see a lot from America, a lot from Australia actually, and then a ton from Europe. Yeah, that was one thing. There were a ton of Europeans and a lot of the places I went to. There weren't that many Americans. I think I saw a lot of Americans in one place, but everywhere else, all the people that spoke English spoke it with a British accent. So it was interesting. Do Japanese vampires follow the same logic as Western vampires? I think Western vampires are... well, in this case, the vampire in question is a Western vampire, but... I think they just made it because it was... what do you think of... what food do you think of when you think of vampires? And it's like, oh... garlic. I guess blood, but it would be a bit disconcerting if they were serving blood with their food, right? So, garlic. So this was my okonomiyaki. This is the standard okonomiyaki that they serve. It was absolutely delicious. Highly recommend it. Although, like I said, I do wish I would have gotten the kind that had cheese on it now. They have different flavors there, and I got the standard flavor. Anyway, I am sold hard on the Hiroshima-style okonomiyaki, and I think I'm going to try to make some eventually. And then there's just some more stuff around their shop. I recognize some of these. I don't recognize all of these, though. Oh, there's Hollow Live right there. That's another VTuber, I think. I'm not sure. Oh, there's more Hollow Live, Hollow Live. I'm not sure who that is. Let's see. That's Flandre right there with cat ears for some reason. Looks nice. Did it fill you up? Yes, yes it did. It was delicious too. Make some on stream. I don't know if I can, I don't have a way to record myself cooking on stream. I could potentially record a video and then edit the video to make sure that I don't accidentally dox myself or something, but, not live on stream. Not live on stream. Here's some more of the fan art that they had up here. Some of the fan art was really good here, too. It was a joke. I know it was a joke, but I know some people are going to actually ask me to do that. Because I've actually been asked to do that already. Trying to see if I recognize any of these characters. I do recognize some of them, like that. And her, Yuyuko. I don't remember her name, but I do recognize her. So many different art styles, yep. And Kaguya. Is that the platelet? That is the platelet. Yeah. And you have Chopper for One Piece. Anyway, yes, that place was delicious. Highly recommend it. In fact, I would even say that this is one of the highlights of the Hiroshima trip, was this food right here. The rest of Hiroshima was great, but this place was really, really good. Highly recommend. If you have a chance to stop by Hiroshima, come to this place. Just know that it is a small restaurant, and they have a limited number of seats, so keep that in mind. They may even, if you sit at a table, they may sit other people at the table from different parties, simply because they don't have enough room. But it's a nice place. Highly recommend it. Alright, that's enough talking about food. So, after I left here, I went to the Atomic Bomb Dome. My social anxiety would never... Well, for me, I was able to sit at, like, the bar, so I didn't have to worry about that, but, there were other tables around that I saw other people sitting at. Anyway, so the Atomic Bomb Dome. As I'm sure everybody is aware, Hiroshima was one of the cities that we bombed during World War II. And I don't remember the exact spot. It was around here somewhere, but this is the ground zero of the bomb. This building is the only building in the vicinity of the bomb that is still standing to this day. It is completely fenced off so that you cannot go beyond the fence. It has a whole bunch of alarms too. But it remains standing as a memorial for the people who lost their lives, as well as well, the atomic bomb. There is a museum that I did end up going to that shows what this place looked like before the bomb fell. And did I actually develop that photo? I don't know if I did. I don't think I did. It was hard for me to take pictures inside because the exposure just wouldn't work out really well. So, unfortunately, could not do that. The museum that I went to also was probably the most depressing place I've ever been to in my life. So, keep that in mind as well. And that museum was over here. This one here. Hiroshima Peace Memorial Museum. Very depressing place, but considering what the actual, considering what it's supposed to be a memorial for, it makes sense. Surprising that the radioactive things didn't stay. Yeah, I think it's because the atomic bombs actually have less of a, have a shorter half-life than, well, modern nuclear explosions. But yes. So, while I was here, there is one thing here. You can see the Flame of Peace. There is a flame inside of like little goblets here that is supposed to remain burning perpetually until all atomic bombs are removed from the world. Or all nuclear weapons are removed from the world. Should get some rest now because your mom's telling you. Yes, please go get some rest. Thank you for stopping by, though. I appreciate you coming. They were very weak bombs in terms of what we have today. Yeah, basically. Or what they have a few years after the fact, yeah. Yeah. So I think the last elements of elevated radiation disappeared about 10, 15 years ago. Around 2010-ish. The bombs after, Fat Man and Little Boy were like 100 times stronger. Yeah, basically. I think that's the reason why this place is not still radioactive, which is good. It means that the city's been able to rebuild. I think I took a picture of the memorial of the flame, but I don't know if it actually captured the flame. Yeah, so there's like a dome here. You can see it's like across a pond. This is the arc here. And then the flame is all the way back here. Looks like it doesn't really show up well on the image I took, unfortunately. Hopefully the video I took of it will be fine, but I'm not sure. But yeah, you can see the atomic bomb, a dome back here. And unfortunately, again, I suck at stabilizing, or not stabilizing, but centering everything and making sure things aren't... Actually, I think I was using my fisheye lens here. Yeah, that's why it looks so weird here. Yeah, I was using my fisheye lens because I'm an idiot. Yeah, don't make the same mistakes that I made. So, before I actually came down here, though, so after the atomic bomb memorial, or dome, I mean, I went up to the castle first, and then I came back down here. Just like my visual novels. Fish eye Dutch angle. But yes, so obviously the bomb wiped out Hiroshima Castle. This castle is a reconstruction. That being said, it's a very good reconstruction. I really like this place. Get some images pulled up here. This is one of the few castles that you can actually walk in with your shoes on. I guess because it's a reconstruction. Both of the reconstruction castles I went to, you could walk in with your shoes on. So, I think that's just a common element for reconstructed castles. They don't really care if you walk in with your shoes or not. Don't quote me on that. Too poor to afford fisheye lens. So, right around here, that's what this bridge here is. And this gateway, this is the front gate coming into the castle. Some of the foundation is actually still remaining from before the atom bomb, though. In fact, there was an entire... oh, did I take an image of that? I didn't develop an image of that? I'm an idiot. Give me a second, guys. I might be able to pull one up. It won't be developed at all, but I might have an image of something I would like to show. Let's see, where is that at? Be my second SD card. I think it's going to be about halfway down. That's Meiji, so I'm too far down. This is very unprofessional. I know. I'm sorry. I really want to show this, though, because... Here we go. Let's see. Which one of these will work? I know you guys can't see what I'm looking at, but... Oh, that's why I didn't develop it. The exposure was too high on it. Oh, there we go. That's good. Kind of good, anyway. Yeah, let me bring that on stream right quick. What number is that? Apparently, the difference in color on these stones is where they got hit by the atom bomb. The atom bomb stained some of the stones white. Or something like that. What type of camera do I use? I use an Olympus EM1 Mark II. But yeah, I thought it was interesting that some of the stones got blasted so hard with the radiation it stained them. I'm not sure why some of them did and some of them didn't, though. Or maybe it was the red ones that got blasted. I don't remember. It was something like that. I didn't really understand what I was reading because it was all in Japanese, guys. So sorry. Anyway, this is Hiroshima Castle. Been completely reconstructed. It took a couple decades, I think, but they got it. And as you can see, the top floor, you can actually come out on. And they have these little gates or fences blocking off so that people don't fall off the top, which I thought was pretty cool. It's the only castle that lets you go outside on the top floor that I've been to. I've only been to 5 of them. That being said, the castle had a lot of like wood on the exterior, like wood color on the exterior, which was unique compared to the other ones. It looked really aesthetic, had a really nice aesthetic, I should say, and it was really cool, really like it. I don't remember what the entry fee was though. It's like 700 yen maybe. I don't even think it was that much. So I just took more pictures of the castle. Yeah. So the inside of the castle has been converted to a museum. Oh, 370 yen. So yeah, it's not that much at all to go in here. Yeah, and then I took a picture at the top of the castle, I believe. Where's that at? It should be developed somewhere. Okay, yeah, this was me taking a picture out over... This is at the top of the castle. I'm taking a picture out over it. I have no idea what any of these buildings are. No idea why I developed that picture in particular either. Anyway, that's really all I have to show from Hiroshima. There is a couple of stuff in the Atom Bomb Park, the Peace Memorial Park. There was a Peace Memorial Hall here that I watched a video at, which showed a video of some people who... They were child soldiers being trained by the Japanese army to become kamikaze pilots. Or not pilots, they were actually going to be kamikaze boatsmen. They were going to take small motorboats filled with bombs and just sell at American ships under the cover of night, and they were training on close by. I don't know how close by. It was on one of the islands, I believe. And once the atom bomb dropped while they were training, they were suddenly called away from their training to come and help with anybody that was, surviving. I think they were the first responders of the atom bomb explosion. And so they had a video playing there about that. But that video is apparently only a limited time thing. So if you go to Japan and go to Hiroshima, it might not be playing anymore. But you got to hear some of the people who were part of this kamikaze group, who were supposed to, basically go on suicide missions against the Americans, who ended up, instead of becoming suicide bombers, they ended up becoming the first responders to the atomic bombing. So it was an interesting story. Of course, all the people who were given the interviews were like super old now. I have no idea if they're still alive. But, yeah. Depressing. It was all depressing. So after that, I went back home to Kyoto. Basically got back really late. Was exhausted and had to wake up very early to go do my next trip the next day, which was Himeji and Kobe. So, Himeji and Kobe time. Let me get some of these images up here. Himeji is famous for having the best well-preserved castle in Japan that's still that is still standing back from the Sengoku era, or it might be the eras directly after Sengoku. I'm not sure. That being said, regardless, it is a massive castle. If you include the entire land, anyway. Castle itself, the keep itself, is really big too. But yes, Himeji. This is right outside of Himeji Station, and it introduces you to the castle. Unfortunately, this is not exactly aligned perfectly in the middle like I was hoping it would be. Granted, I might have been standing at an angle, which might be why this wasn't aligned in the middle. But close enough, I guess. So yeah, that's the castle in the back. Or rather, that's the keep of the castle in the back. The castle itself is the entire area around it. The keep's just the central building. Or the main building, I should say. And so there's a sewer or manhole cover that has the image of Himeji carved onto it, which I thought was cool. And while I was walking to the castle, there was a bunch of what are they called? Like, they were like temporary store stands just erected out in front of the castle, I guess, for people to buy like homemade leathered goods and pottery. The last time I came to Hiroshima, that exact same thing was going on, except it was an actual festival and they had like a band there. This time it seemed more like a well, it didn't seem like a festival this time. It was just like a couple of people selling stuff there, or a couple of stands selling stuff there to tourists and stuff. So yes, this is Himeji Castle. This is the front entrance right over here. And I got here before the gates opened again because I knew this place would be insanely crowded, and I was right. But I knew that if I got there as soon as the gates opened, I wouldn't have to deal with the frickin' crowds, which I hate. That being said, I got there early enough to take a couple of pictures before going inside the castle grounds itself. Before I got inside the paid portion of the castle grounds, I should say. Because you can actually go to the castle grounds without paying. But you can only go to the inner part of the castle grounds through a paid gate. You have to get like a ticket and stuff. So let me pull up some of these pictures first. Also, when you buy the ticket to Himeji Castle, you can buy a ticket to the gardens connected to Himeji Castle. They're like right next to it. And I know some people are going to be upset with this. I didn't really get to take any pictures on the inside of the castles because, again, exposure is an issue with my camera on the inside. I need to figure that out. I took video, and the video is fine, but I have to go in and edit people's faces out, so I can't show the video on stream. So yeah, so this is the moat going around the castle. And you can see that even though it's a moat, they still have a whole bunch of, like, trees. Beautiful trees and flowers everywhere. I've never been to a European castle. I don't know if things are the same there. I hope so, though. Go back and take more pictures. I took over 7,500 pictures. I had to, like, condense it down to 500 to show on stream. Anyway, this is the bridge here. And the bridge is very picturesque. There's, like, koi or carp in the water swimming. There's cherry blossoms everywhere. And it looked really nice. I just wish I could capture it better on my camera. I wish I was better at using my camera, I should say. But yes. So this is the main first courtyard of Himeji-jo. This is a free area. People come here to, I guess, play some sports and do picnics here. And by sports, I mean like frisbee. And this castle is pure white the entire way around it. So the other castles that I've shown have been either black or wood, or I haven't gotten to Okayama Castle yet, so I'm not going to spoil that one just yet. But yes, this one's stark white. I forgot what they call it. It's like the White Herring Castle? Is that what they call it? Himeji Castle. The White Heron Castle, or the White Egret Castle. Because of how bright white it is, I have to catch the VOD of this. I need to sleep. Alright, Ferdinand, thank you for coming. Go get some rest. Here we go. That's a decent image of the main keep. So, you don't go into this part of the castle. You walk by it, but this is the main part of the castle that you go inside. And, oh, by the way, both of the castles that were still standing from the Sengoku era, I'm not sure if this is in all of the ones that are still standing from that time, but they have shrines up at the top. But all of the reconstructions I've been into do not have a shrine at the very top. I'm not sure what the specific reason is for that, but I assume that they needed to place a worship back in the Sengoku era. Or, well, after the Sengoku era. Whereas in the reconstructions, they no longer needed them. Counterfeit castle. This is a real castle, but yes, the rebuilding. I guess you could call them counterfeit, but they are really good. I don't know if I would call them counterfeit. Actually, they were really very authentic to me. Let's see. Just like the Aztecs, time to donate a heart to the sky. Yeah. So, Himeji Castle is the biggest castle. It's probably the most picturesque castle as well. Because it's so large, it has such large gardens that there's more areas to take pictures of it than all the other castles I've been to. Nope, I took some pictures of some flowers too. No idea what these flowers are, but they're nice. They were beautiful. Yeah, the people in Japan that are maintaining these castles and gardens are top-notch. And that right there is a well, I think? They fenced it off so that people wouldn't fall into it, I guess. That being said, people were like throwing coins into there. I don't think that you're supposed to do that. And this is the from the top floor of the castle, I think. I was taking an image out. This is the inner courtyard. This is the front gate where you come through, where you pay to get a ticket from. This is another courtyard that I think you could only access from the inner courtyard. But it is a massive, massive garden here with walls over here that you can go into the walls and walk through them, looking over the city and into the gardens. That being said, this castle keep and the walls, you have to take your shoes off before you go in. They hand you these plastic bags, and you have to carry them with you the entire time. It is very hard to take pictures while also carrying boots with you, because I was wearing hiking boots the entire time with me during this trip. Another flower appreciator. Thank you, thank you. I took a lot of pictures of flowers. You'll see some in a bit. And here's a little fish thing that's at the side of their the castle roof. I say it's a fish thing. It might be a dragon. I'm not sure. I desire flowers. No backpack. I had a backpack, but it was full of camera lenses and stuff. So this is the only image I developed of inside the castle of the Teppo that they used during the time period. And again, at Matsumoto Castle, they had one of these full-size replicas that I could have bought. And I really wanted to buy it, and I could not. Because again, it would be really awkward for a gaijin to walk around with a gun. I didn't have anything to keep it in. So, that was Castle Himeji. The inside, around the keep anyway. I have some images from the courtyard. And then I have some images of the garden next to Castle Himeji. But before we get to the garden, let's go for the images around the courtyard. And I have an experience that I need to tell you guys about that I kind of pissed me off, to be honest. It is an experience with some other tourists who were there. They were kind of jerks. They were kind of jerks. Yeah, not gonna lie. Okay, this is coming down out of the castle keep. Gaijin see gun. Gaijin happy. Yeah, I didn't buy the Teppo. It was literally the second full day I was in Japan, and I didn't have anywhere to put something that long. And I didn't want to walk around with a gun, even if it was a model gun. Anyway, so that's the ticket entrance. This is the courtyard. I'll buy it for you when I go. Here's some cherry blossoms. Beautiful cherry blossoms, by the way. I went there in cherry blossom season. Certain areas of Japan weren't blooming yet, and some were already through their main blooming season. But Cherry blossoms are amazing. That's why some part are closed for tourists now. Yeah, to be honest, I can see why. So I started to walk out towards that way, and then I realized that I hadn't been up to the other side courtyard up here. So I turned around and went back up that way, and I saw this very good spot to take photos at. So this is where I have to talk about something. This is a designated photo spot to take a picture of Himejijo, or Himeji Castle. There was a line that was formed to take pictures at this photo spot. I got in line to take pictures here. And as soon as it was my turn to go, I went, raised my camera, and the trees are beautiful. Yes, yes. The landscaping here is phenomenal, breathtaking. Highly recommend this place. Please go here if you have time and you are in Japan. It is a nice day trip from Kyoto. But yes, so I went to go take a picture at this photo spot. I raised my camera, and as soon as I did, 4 East Asian tourists walked in front of me. They were all a bunch of kids, and started posing for selfies right in front of me. So I started taking a couple of pictures of them out of anger, and but I ended up, only taking pictures, this legitimate picture without them in the image. But yeah, apparently this is an issue in Japan where people from, I have been told, I'm trying not to be racist here, but places in Asia, tourists from Asia, have a lack of, what's the word? Situational awareness. That's the word I want to go for. Which I understand that you're excited and you're in a foreign nation, but I was told that this is an issue in Japan, and they've started to block tourists off from certain areas because of this, where people will just not pay any attention to what they're doing or what's happening around them, and people will just jump in front of others. They'll talk on the phone on trains, which is a big taboo in Japan. That happened several times, again, from tourists. They would be playing gacha games, full volume in trains without headphones on. Look, I understand. I'm a gaijin. I'm a tourist. It's very hypocritical of me to complain about tourists in Japan. But holy crap, this was very annoying when I was in Japan. Just please, if you're going to Japan, follow the local traditions and customs, please. People don't talk on the phone in Japan. People don't use their phones with something that has volume on trains in Japan. People get in lines in Japan. Don't cut lines in Japan, because people will cut you instead. Actually, no, that's only something that happens in America. Japanese people are very peaceful. Yeah, I heard of that. There are some videos of tourists climbing trees and breaking them. Yeah. Honestly, these kids, they were probably about high school age. They were probably just excited, but I was very pissed when they jumped in front of me like that. But I calmed myself down. Once they walked off, I took the pictures that I wanted to. Took this picture here. I think this picture's really nice. I like this picture. I think it's valid. Some people don't have courtesy. Yeah. But I wanted to use it as a PSA for people going to Japan. I was told that this is a bigger issue from tourists in Asia, but I'm not sure if that's actually the case, or if it's just because there's more tourists from Asia in Japan than from other areas. So I just want everybody to keep this in mind when you go into Japan. Don't cut lines. Don't use your phone in the train. And if you do, then keep the volume off. Don't speak don't talk loud on the phone on the phone in trains in Japan. All right, we good? We good? All right. This is a beautiful image, I think. I like this image a lot. I'm glad I was able to take it. Hopefully you guys won't have the same issue I had when I took this photo. Moving on. So you can see here, the castle has multiple layers to it. And going up it, I think it was designed that way specifically to make invaders have a hard time going up. The castle ruins in Kofu. I went there last time I was in Japan. My previous trip, I should say, in Japan. This is Kofu. There are ruins of a castle here. I'm not sure where it is, but the stairs for this castle go up about 2 feet. Maybe 1.5 foot, but they're very steep stairs. They're very tall stairs. And the reason why they were so tall was so that they would trip people who were invading the castle. Because the defenders would already be up on the top of the stairs shooting arrows down at the invaders. And the invaders would have to climb up these tall stairs, and just it would be an issue for them. I thought it was genius, but climbing up them as a tourist, even a tall Western dude, such as myself, had issues climbing up them. I didn't really notice that in other castles, though. Gotta get back to work. All right, understood. Thank you for coming, Alif. Anyway, I kept trying to find other areas to take pictures of Himeji from different photos. And you can see these little black things here. These are actually corvins of some sort. I can't really tell from this distance, but crows or ravens or something. I experienced something similar over at the Great Wall, going up the mountain, then suddenly 5-foot stairs. Really, really. Okay. I'm not entirely sure which side of the castle this was at. There wasn't like anybody on the path I was walking to get to the garden. I was walking a very not the normal path you go from Himeji Castle to the gardens next to Himeji Castle. Let's see, where is Himeji Castle? Oh, right up here. Kokoen, that's it. So most people come out of Himeji over here, towards the bridge here, and walk to the gardens here. Well, that seemed boring to me, because I had already done that before my second trip to Japan. So I came out this way and walked around. Longer path, yes, but I got to see some cool stuff. I don't know anywhere where these people could have loaded up these canoes at, because I did not see any place like this being advertised along the entire path. I must have missed it, obviously, but I have no idea where it's at. Anyway, you can see the side of the castle walls here with the cherry blossoms lurching over. Again, very beautiful city. Highly recommend coming, especially during spring, during the the cherry blossom era. And here is the entrance of the garden that I came to. I just saw some flowers. I took a lot of pictures of flowers. I only actually developed a couple of them though. I'll grab something to eat. Want anything? Actually, speaking of food, the first thing I did in this garden was eat lunch. It was tempura udon. No, not udon. Soba. Tempura and soba. Or somen. Somen! Is it soba or somen? What did I eat? I don't remember. Anyway, buckwheat noodles, I think. And then tempura vegetables. And whatever this stuff was here. It was really good. It was really refreshing. You got to look out over a small pond that had a tiny waterfall in it and some carp. Asian carp, anyway. It was really nice. So yeah, that tempura that I just showed, by the way, was pumpkin, Japanese pumpkin, kabocha. I'm actually growing some in my garden right now. They've sprouted up already. So let's see. More images of the garden. I'll just put up all of these at once. I don't think it really matters what order I go in. And you'll see these little walking paths in ponds in a lot of the gardens in Japan. And you can walk across them, obviously. But they make for some good images, I think, too. They're pretty picturesque. Some small ponds and waterfalls. Some other bridges. Some actual bridges, I should say. Arch bridges, I should say. There's a ton of carp in this garden. Send me that. Send you which part? The food? The squash that I'm growing? So this, I think, was the restaurant that I ate at. And I'm looking back at it in the other direction now. And this right here, I think, is a Japanese maple tree. Anyway, this garden had a whole bunch of flowers, too. So, this is... I have no idea which flower this is, but I thought it looked really nice, so I decided to take a picture of it. The picture with the tiny little ponds and waterfalls. I need it for something. I didn't screenshot it. Ah, yeah. You mean, this one. What did I just do? Dang it, I just opened up every image again. This one, though, right? Yeah. I'll post some of these on Twitter. Actually, you know what? I'll just go ahead and post this one on Twitter right now. Find my Twitter in the description below. I will post some of these images on Twitter. I'm going to go ahead and post this one right now. So let me go ahead and say delivered or chat. All right, there we go. I posted it up on Twitter now, or X, or whatever. So I accidentally re-uploaded all these images again. Or, well, reopened up all these images again. So here we go. So this beautiful flower, no idea what kind of flower it is. Looks really nice. You can see the little fibers coming off of it, actually. I think that's a pretty decent image of that flower. Yeah. Took more images of flowers. Not all the flowers were blooming while I was here, though, unfortunately. But most of them were, and it was pretty nice. There was one area where they had these, like, raised beds, and those weren't growing anything at all, except for lily pads in one of them. But yes, I wish I could convey properly through my images just the experience of going through these gardens, because they are very peaceful and very tranquil. You have like this the soft flow of water and the sound that it makes going through these rocks and stuff, as well as the flowers just everywhere. It's very beautiful. It's a peony? Ah, I see. You know your flowers more than I do. I only recognize the ones from Rune Factory. Unfortunately, a lot of those are fake. Don't know what this is. It kind of looked like an alien. Isn't there like an animal that looks like this? Like an angelfish? Not an angelfish. Something. It looks like some sort of weird alien, though. Yeah, so I accidentally reopened these images again, didn't I? Yeah. Looks like the kind of, fleur de lis. Maybe. Ah! What did I just do? Looking first, I'm looking at my other photos right quick. Yeah, so after that, it was after that I went to Kobe. I was trying to make sure that I had my story straight, guys. Sorry about that. So Kobe had one of the first foreign districts in Japan. As such, it had a couple of buildings that were obviously Western inspired that were built there like 150 years ago. So I went from Himeji straight to Kobe. I don't remember exactly where the foreign district is. Here we go. It was here. Around this area, because I walked to the area that I was trying to get to. Yeah, it was this street here. It had a whole bunch of foreign houses built here. You would have like the British house, you would have like a German house, and a whole bunch of things like that around there. It's pretty cool. So you have Higashimon Street. This is a shopping area over here. I'll walk through here. I think I took a video of that too, but again, I haven't gone through any of my video footage yet, and I have to go through that and edit out people's faces, or blur out people's faces. An iris, maybe. Ah, I see. So that could have been it too. Oh, I didn't mean to close out of that yet. Oh yeah, here's an old church. I have no idea if it's still being used or not nowadays. There's a lot of like vines growing on the side of it, but that might just be because it's like 150 years old, you know? Anyway, let me open that one that I closed back up. The English house. There were a bunch of souvenir shops here. They were all selling like European goods. And here's like a little terraced out hill that has a whole bunch of I'm not positive what these are. They might be tea bushes, I'm not sure. They might just be normal bushes, but I have no idea why somebody would go through the links of planting a whole bunch of just decorative bushes on the side of a cliff instead of having these trees here. But the reason why I came to Kobe this time was to come up to this area, the Herb Museum. It's called Nunobiki Herb Garden. I was walking over to this ropeway here, and I bought a one-way ticket up the mountain. Yeah, this is a mountain here, by the way. I bought the one-way ticket because I thought it would be nice to walk down the mountain, not up the mountain, because again, I was exhausted. I was having blisters show up on my feet, and those blisters were not staying together. They were very painful. But yes, so inside of this little ropeway area, there's a souvenir shop. I wanted to buy some stuff. I saw some Kobe black curry. Wasn't really sure what that was about, but when I got up to the top of the mountain, there was a place selling Kobe, like a restaurant selling Kobe black curry, and it was the best curry I've ever had. So, highly recommend that as well. I actually have an image of that, so let me go ahead and bring that up. This is the best curry I've ever had. I think the herbs, all the spices and herbs in this dish, I think may have been grown at this place. I might be wrong about that, but it was delicious. It was amazing. I cannot stress enough just how good this curry was. It didn't have a strong curry flavor. Well, actually, no, it did have a strong curry flavor, but I've had stronger flavors of curry, but that was the best tasting curry I've had, if that makes sense. So this is a little model that shows the area that this ropeway goes up to, as well as the entire areas of the herb garden. You see here is like what's supposed to be a bunch of greenhouses here. But the ropeway goes up to the very top of the mountain. And so, I apparently skipped a whole bunch of images. I did not develop those images, apparently. There we go. Let me bring some more. Let me bring that one here, actually. There was actually a performance, an opera performance going on up here as well. I'm not really into operas and stuff, though. So I just kind of like walked off after listening to it for about 5 minutes. But again, there's going to be a bunch of flowers here because, again, this is an herb garden and it has flowers everywhere. So you get up to the top and you see these, I brought in the same image, apparently. There's a bunch of Western-style buildings up here as well. Which one of these was it? I don't remember. There we go. This is like a big building that's like connected to a whole bunch of other buildings. But it has like souvenir shops, it has restaurants, and an opera house. Well, it's not really an opera house, but it's like a stage performance area. But there's also an observatory at the very back of that building. And it lets you look out over the city. Where you can see this is Kobe. And this is Osaka all the way up here. And this is the image I took of that view. See Osaka all the way in the back and Kobe up in the front. I think at nighttime this would be a beautiful place, but the herb garden closes at 5. However, I think at certain times of the year it opens, well, it's open up until later. But I think you have to like leave the garden and come back in or something. I don't know the exact details for that. Anyway, so as I mentioned, there were some glass houses in the herb garden area. So I started to walk that way after eating my lunch at the Kobe, not lunch, I guess that was my dinner. The Kobe black curry. And I just took pictures of the flowers on the way to the glass houses, which you can see over here. And here again. This is me walking down the pathway, and along these areas here are a whole bunch of different, they're thematic flowers being grown here, or herbs being grown here. And what I mean by that is you'll have something like cooking salad, and then you'll have a whole bunch of different herbs and grasses, or not grasses, but vegetables growing that they would use for salads or something. Or they would have something like, oh, this is stuff that you'll cook fish with. Or these are edible flowers. Or you have flowers for fragrance and stuff like that. Go ahead and pull up a whole bunch of this stuff here. So again, you have a whole bunch of flowers here. I tried to take as many pictures as I could of the flowers. I didn't develop all of them. I just developed the ones that looked like they were kind of good or the best of my pictures that I took. I'm getting closer to the glass houses now. Excuse me. And now I'm in front of the glass houses. And going down the entire stairs of the glass house area is a whole bunch of flowers on the stairs. By the way, this place is technically wheelchair accessible. That being said, I don't know if I can recommend somebody in a wheelchair come here, because this is a very steep walk. You might be able to do the very top part of the herb garden. I'm not sure how you'll fit your wheelchair inside of the gondola, but going off of the top area is a very steep incline, so that would be a very, very dangerous for anybody in a wheelchair, probably. So I'm not sure if I would actually recommend that or not if you're in a wheelchair, even though it's technically wheelchair accessible. In fact, there were Japanese signs that were also saying that. Let me bring in a whole bunch of these flowers here. And I'll bring in an ice cream as well. So, this is still not inside of the glass house yet. I saw some flowers that drew my attention, as well as some vegetables. Oh, these aren't the vegetables. I think the vegetables were further down. Yeah, here's the vegetables. Red lettuce. I have acquired food. I love acquired food. Then we have tulips. There were a lot of tulips everywhere. I think these are tulips, right? I'm not 100% on my flowers. I think these are tulips, though. I need to get into growing flowers in addition to my my vegetables. Yes. Yes, okay, good. You would think somebody that specializes in Rune Factory would be better at identifying flowers, but I'm sorry. I grow mostly vegetables in Rune Factory too, so in my defense, I'm just sticking to what I know. Kind of messed up on the saturation. It looks like the flowers are glowing. So this is actually inside of the glass house. There's like a little shopping area or a little, a non-growing area. These are just a bunch of aromatic spices that they have hanging here. It made the place smell very, fragrant. Okay, now this is inside the glass houses. There was an area, I think that this was actually done for, February, for like Valentine's Day, and it's just still, it's still blooming right now, these flowers. I didn't get a better or closer image of those flowers, unfortunately, but there's like a little romantic thing here. I had a whole bunch of heart-shaped flowers here. And this is a strawberry ice cream with a macaroon in it. Honestly, not worth the price. Neither was this herb tea. The herb tea was made using the herbs of the garden, and it just tasted like, well, it didn't really have much of a flavor, to be honest. I had a lot of strawberry ice cream in Japan, hoping that they would be better than each time I was getting it. Unfortunately, it's always been mid for me. The strawberry ice cream. I later had lavender ice cream, and that might have been the best ice cream I've ever had. But that was at Fuji. We're not there yet. You have these nice little orange flowers. Pretty beautiful as well. Get doxed. My hand, I know. I should have censored my hand. I didn't think about it, okay? I'm sorry. So, the glass houses did have like an outside area where you could go and like pull a bell. But there was kind of a line going for it. And we also were running out of time here. In fact, as I was coming out of this area here... Oh, hold on. Is that the right area? Yes. Yes, okay. Yeah, this is the glass house area. I had no idea that there was a foot bath here. I wish I would have known that. But, that closed at the same time? Yes, it does. So, I decided that I was going to go ahead and start heading down because I was running out of time here and I didn't want to get locked in because I wasn't really sure how that worked. So I started walking down, went through the lavender garden, the Four Seasons garden, and then the Oriental garden. And then at this area, it's this area, you begin walking down the rest of the mountain. This is a very complicated path, but actually I'm going to get ahead of myself, aren't I? Yes, I am. My bad, guys. I did develop some pictures of the gardens. So here we go. Let me bring these in first. I was jumping ahead of myself, guys. My apologies. Took a lot of pictures of the gardens. We're almost an hour and a half in. We're not even at Fuji yet. What the hell? Okay. We'll go through these really quickly. So, these are the gardens. They look nice, right? A lot of tulips. There's tulips everywhere here. I don't know why there's so many different colored tulips. I didn't know that the tulips had this many colors. All over the place. Let's say Fuji for part 3. I was trying to get everything finished this stream. You have yellow tulips, pink tulips, red tulips, cream and red tulips. They look beautiful. They're great. I want to grow some. There's a lot of them. Moving on. You can see the glass houses over here. Thought there was another type of tulip. Did I not take the picture of that one? This is a very picturesque place. It would be really nice for a picnic or a date, I think. So, if you live in... there we go. These are the other tulips. I want to grow these kinds especially. They look really nice. I was going to say, the Dutch would be proud. Dutch imitators. Yes, this place is... I want to grow these tulips. I don't know what type they are, but I want to grow some. Anyway. Nice flowers. Look at them. Look at them. Okay, moving on. I think these are the red tulips. I was looking at them from directly above. Oh, and you had these sky blue flowers. Not really sure what those are. Not even going to try and guess. They look really nice, though. I like them. There's like a little picnic area. There's a place where you can look over at the city on your hammocks and stuff that people set up. I also saw people playing some sports here as well. Some more tulips, some more purple flowers, some orange flowers, some beautiful flowers, you know. All very nice. Alright, moving on. This is the lift area. This is the halfway point of the lift. This is where I thought I was going to get off originally. By the way, I don't like heights. This place was terrifying because the lift stopped moving like twice. And I was not comfortable with that. I swore to myself that this would be the last time I would ever go on a lift, but I ended up breaking that swear when I got to Fuji. Yeah. Don't know what these types of flowers are either. They are also beautiful. They kind of look like fire-looking leaves. You should try zip lines. That sounds like a terrible idea. Yeah, it's some like white plant that I have no idea what it is. And then I took a picture of the zip line. Not the zip line, the gondola. Alright, so. As I was mentioning earlier. Around this area, you have to walk down the pathway. This pathway is not very easy to walk down. You're walking... There are some parts of this pathway that are so steep that you are leaning back on your heels the entire time. And I finally learned what it means to be walking uphill in both directions. Because I felt like I was pushing myself up every time I was taking a step down. It was really weird. My calves were screaming at me afterwards. Even very steep escalators will cause terror. But I am glad that I walked down because, one, I did not have to ride the gondola again, and two, I got to see a waterfall. Nunobiki Waterfall. It's a very cool place. Unfortunately, my images didn't turn out very well, but I did take a video of it, which again, I haven't really developed the videos yet, or I haven't really looked at the videos that much yet. But I am glad that I walked down because it was a really nice waterfall. It looked really cool. And you go to the cave behind the waterfall. Unfortunately, it was all blocked off by, well, fences and other stuff. There's a shrine there too, I believe. But yes, it was a pretty cool place. I wish I would have had a better image to show, but eventually I'll develop all of my video and upload a video on it. Continued to walk down, saw some, I'm not even sure if it was a bunch of homeless people or if it was just people partying underneath the station. But there were a whole bunch of people in tents playing music with campfires going out, like right over here. And I was a bit concerned about going down that way, so I walked in the other direction and went back home. Next day, I went to Okayama. Okayama and Kurashiki. Okayama is the bigger city than Kurashiki, but Kurashiki is known as a canal city. It has these giant canals going through the town, and they looked very beautiful. As I was going down through here, I noticed that all the tourists that were coming to this area were coming specifically to Kurashiki. There were like no tourists in Okayama. They all went to Kurashiki. Honestly, it is a beautiful place, so I can kind of understand. I also had the best cheap steak that I ever had in my life. Did I take a picture of that cheap steak, actually? Let me see. Cheap steak, where are you? Yes, I did. This is a $6 sirloin. It is the best $6 sirloin I've ever had. No, it's not as good as, actual Japanese steak. But it was extremely juicy and delicious. So, you know what? For $6, that was well worth the price. Looks very edible. It was delicious. Trust me. Anyway, so this place is famous for a legend. It's the legend of Momotaro, who slayed a whole bunch of demons in Japan. And so I went to a place called the Momotaro Museum. I did not realize that this was the museum at first, because as you can see, it's only written in Japanese. This is Momotaro, by the way. This is his pet dog and his pet monkey and whatever fowl that is. I did not realize that this was a museum, so I walked right by it. And then I looked on my Google Maps and realized I had walked like 2 blocks away from it. And I was like, oh, let me go back. And then I realized it was the place outside with the statue. Was it. That this was the place that I wanted to go to. Now, you might think that the statue would have given the place away. But this place has so many Momotaro statues everywhere throughout the streets of the city. I'll say everywhere. It's not uncommon to see the Momotaro statues. So, that's why I didn't realize that this was the museum that I was looking for. Now, I did take some pictures inside the museum, but I wasn't really sure if what all was allowed to be taken pictures of. So I only took a couple of pictures. This place was mostly it's called a museum, but most of it is like optical illusions, and then there's like a haunted house in the back of it. It was pretty cool. Would recommend. It was pretty cheap too. I think it was like 500 yen. So Momotaro was apparently born from a peach. And so they have these peaches here that have mirrors on the bottom side of it. So you climb under the backside and stick your head up through it, and you're supposed to like take pictures of it, of yourself anyway. Through here, it's supposed to be like you being born from the peach. And then I just took a couple of other pictures, but I didn't take that many pictures. And then there was a Snoopy store here. Snoopy's very popular in Japan. Anyway, I thought it was a pretty cool place. There's a haunted house there. It can be pretty spooky to some people. Oh, I'm an idiot. There's a frickin' sign here that says photos are okay. I didn't see this, guys, until just now, so... If I ever go to Japan, I need to ask you for a trip planning. I've been to Japan 4 times. I can give you a very good itinerary, depending on how long you're going for. Let me get some more photos up here. So, saw this bakery. I wanted to get some, but I decided to go and wait. And then I saw the place that had that steak for $6, so I bought that $6 steak. Then I saw an American goods store. This stuff was selling American stuff that was sold, that was like from the 1980s and 90s. I didn't actually go inside, though. It was pretty funny, though. That's a lot of noise right there. I didn't develop this photo, that's right. But yes, this was Kurashiki. It's like it's a covered area, but it's technically outdoors. And there's a whole bunch of shopping areas over there. But most of the place was closed. This entire place seemed to be closed on the day that I went. Like, there was like 20 museums, and they were all closed on the day I went. I think it was like Tuesday that I went. Let me see if I can find a museum. Yeah. Kushiki. The art museum. Let me see. Monday? I thought it was Tuesday. Maybe it was Monday that I went here. Yeah, okay. I must have gone on Monday. Everything's closed on Monday except for the Momotaro Museum. Don't ask me why. Have I visited the hot spring monkeys? So that was in Nagano. I did not go there when I was in Nagano because I had some pilgrimages to make. Also, because I felt like it would be weird to go to the monkeys in Nagano outside of winter. because that's when you're supposed to go to see the onsen monkeys, the hot spring monkeys. Wrong place. Okayama. So, there were a ton of tourists in Kurashiki, so I decided to go ahead and head back to Okayama, to the castle of Okayama. The castle of Okayama is a reconstruction, but it's a pretty nice castle. It is completely black and gold on the outside. So, let me see here. So this is the opening gate. I'll walk through and got greeted by this. This is a very nice place. I really like this castle. It was kind of weird. I didn't really understand what you were supposed to do, but you don't walk up the stairs in this castle. You're supposed to take the elevator up to floor 4, and then you walk up the stairs from floor 4 to floor 6, and then you walk down the stairs, going one by one through each floor, and each floor is dedicated to different things. Some of it's just like the history of the city, some's the history of the castle, the history of samurai and stuff like that, and then there's a cafe on one of these floors. I think it's this floor, it might have been this floor. But regardless, beautiful castle. Really like it. I don't care if it's a reconstruction. It's beautiful, just like the one in Hiroshima. I wish we could build stuff like this in America, but people don't like to have fun here. Yeah, gold and black. Looks really nice. Very good place. Very good place. I apparently uploaded the same image twice. Let's see. I have no idea if these are supposed to be fish, by the way, or dragons. I assume that they're supposed to be fish. No, they're probably dragons. They just look like fish. Anyway, so this is a thing that was inside the castle. It's a shogun, or not a shogun, but a daimyo thing. Daimyo were like the feudal lords of the area, like the major feudal lords. And they would have attendants who would carry them around in these little claustrophobic-inducing boxes? I don't really know how to describe it other than that. I don't know why they would do that. But regardless, this is things that their attendants would carry them around in. They would sit in seiza form the entire time in order to fit in here. Seemed very uncomfortable to me. They're carriages. Yeah, carriages, I guess. Anyway, yes. So I posted this up on my my Twitter back when I was there. I had a strawberry parfait. It was strawberry season in Japan, so there was a lot of strawberry stuff everywhere I went. This was actually pretty good. I got to eat the castle as well. So, you know what? I was happy with that. This was also like $12 for this parfait. It was good, though. It was good. It was worth it. So then I left the castle and decided to go to these gardens that you can see here, Okayama Korakuen. This was not part of a planned itinerary that I made. I just happened to see it when I was at the castle, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to there. It's a bit of a scam. Now, fruit stuff in Japan's always pretty expensive. Alright, let me just grab all the images of this garden. I think... Yes, here we go. Here we go. Yes, I'm fine with opening 16 more tabs. So I was leaving the castle here. Saw a metal suspension bridge, or whatever you would call that kind of bridge. Saw the castle one last time when I was on the bridge. Or at least I thought it would be one last time. I actually ended up seeing it again, but not because I was looking for it. So now we're in the gardens, which you can see the castle again up here. This place up here is actually the place to get the best view of the garden, but I didn't see that until towards the end. And this is the opening entrance of this area. It's a nice aesthetic to the garden. And so I took another image of the castle here. It looked kind of cool poking itself out over the horizon of all these trees and stuff there. So I just had to take a picture of it because it just looked nice. You have the thatched boathouse here. I have no idea if these are just like staged props or if people actually use these for some reason. Because I saw people actually in the water. They were staff who were cleaning out the water. Not this water here, but they had some like rivers going through. And they were like sweeping the water. I think they were trying to clear debris from the water with their brooms. But I thought it was kind of weird that they were sweeping the water until I realized that that's probably what they were doing. You could not go across this bridge, by the way. I have no idea why. But you can walk across the bridge. But then there's like a gate here. It says no entry. I don't know why they wouldn't put it on this side of the bridge, but maybe it would have been a nice picture to take in one of the directions if you stood in the middle of the bridge. I didn't think about doing that until just now. But yes, these are the little rivers or streams that are going through the park. This was the places that I saw people sweeping. The staff were sweeping stuff here. There's a guy right there. He's part of the staff. Yeah, there they are. I took a picture of it. What do you know? I wasn't trying to take a picture of them. I was trying to take a picture of the place, but... yeah. They would sweep the debris out of here. And then I saw some little plots of stuff growing here. Back over here are a whole bunch of tea bushes. And then I think that this was a cafe over here, but I did not stay here because... it was supposed to start raining soon, and I wanted to get back at a decent time and not soaked in water. I think this was actually a restroom. So I went through the rest of the park, just trying to take as many pictures as I could before my camera died, because I do remember my camera was starting to die here. I had enough extra batteries, but I thought I was almost through with the garden. So I wanted to go and try and see if I could like take the pictures and leave on that same battery, so I wouldn't actually have to get my batteries out. But yeah, the gardens were beautiful. Very beautiful. And again, like everything else, I highly recommend all this stuff that I've done. So I just really like this bridge for some reason. Yeah, the drooping cherry tree had cherry blossoms right above it. And then I went home. Well, I'll say home. I went back to my hotel in Kyoto. And keep in mind, I'm getting back to my hotel like at 8 or 9 every night. I'm leaving and getting to the places at like... I'm leaving my hotel at like 6, and then I'm getting back at like 9, and I'm walking so much every day. I am extremely exhausted, but you know what? I'm almost through with my trip, and so I had one final major destination to go to, and that was Mount Fuji. I stayed in this area here, but I am the biggest dumbass in history, okay, guys? So here, listen. I took a train from Kyoto, a Shinkansen from Kyoto, all the way to, where was this at? Mishima. From Mishima Station, I take a bus that was supposed to go to a very close place to my hotel. However, I ordered the ticket to the wrong frickin' destination. Instead of going to over here, I was somewhere over here. Or maybe it was here. Regardless, when I typed in on my Google Maps how far a walk it would be to my hotel, it would have taken about an hour. And I had 2 suitcases to carry with me that were both about 40 pounds heavy. So instead, I happened to notice a taxi sign and walked over to a building. It was a taxi building, and I was like, "Sumimasen, taxi ga hitsuyou desu." Nepgear would be proud. She would be proud. Anyway, I had to wait for like 15 minutes for a taxi to come by because all their taxis were currently busy, but I was able to take a taxi directly to my hotel, and I was happy for that. It turns out the local trains would have... not trains, sorry. The local buses... I would have been able to ride a local bus instead of a highway bus to close to my my hotel, but I didn't know that at the time. So anyway, I was in this area here, That was my hotel, actually. Anyway. Got there, signed in, saw my, laid my stuff down in my room. And then I went to this famous place called Oshino Hakai. There's a whole bunch of ponds here that are fed by melting glaciers off of Mount Fuji, I believe. Or something like that. Let's see, do I have my hotel? Yes, I do have a picture. I have an undeveloped picture of my hotel here. This is my room. It was nice. The water here is apparently directly fed from Mount Fuji's water stream, so it's pure glacier water. It did taste pretty good, not gonna lie. This place, Oshino Hakai, I walked from my my ryokan through a nature trail. It was a pretty nice place. Got to Oshino Hakai in like 40 minutes. Probably was more like 30 minutes, but probably would have taken more like 30 minutes, but I was taking some pictures along the way. Also saw a sign saying the beware of bears, so that made me feel fine and happy and safe. And then I got the Oshino Hakai. There were tourists everywhere. Oh yes, on my way to the nature trail, I saw a sign that just said bros in this direction. Go buy yourself a brother, guys. And then I saw this little house that was made out of firewood. It actually had a door on one side of it, I think. Not sure what's up with that, but here we go. Oshino Hakai. Very crowded place, had a whole bunch of food stalls. I ate a whole bunch of food at the food stalls because all the restaurants in Mount Fuji close at 4:30 p.m. Or at least in this area of Mount Fuji. Why? I have no idea. But I am very upset by that because I got here at like 4 and took a whole bunch of pictures. And then I went to go find a restaurant. And they were all closed. I couldn't find any restaurants. I just saw food stalls. So I went and got, a whole bunch of food at the food stalls. I bought like $20 worth of steak skewers. I bought some Korean fried chicken, which was actually pretty mediocre, unfortunately. But yes. I wanted to eat some Hoto because that's what Yamanashi Prefecture is known for. And I had Hoto on my last trip to Japan, my trip prior to this one. And the Hoto was absolutely delicious. One of the best noodle dishes I've had in Japan after ramen. Probably my best. I will say Hoto noodles are probably the best noodles after ramen noodles. They're delicious. They're very thick. They're thicker than udon noodles. And they're really nice. I like them. Unfortunately, I did end up getting Hoto on a different day, and it was kind of mediocre compared to the Hoto that I had in Kofu. But yes, this place is just famous. I tried taking pictures of Mount Fuji. Unfortunately, Fuji-san was being blanketed by clouds almost the entire time I was here. Even early in the morning, as soon as I woke up, I would look outside, and it would be covered in clouds. So, didn't get very many amazing pictures of Fuji-san until tomorrow, when for like 30 minutes it became very visible. But before we get to that, went back to Fujitomita. There was one restaurant that was still open on this street, called Shegaro. It's a French restaurant. Right across the street from the Japanese Defense Force. No idea why this is here, but it is here. Ate here. It was really good food, but it was very small portions. It's kind of like a fancy French restaurant, so I kind of makes sense, I guess. But it did taste pretty good. Next day, woke up. There is a where is it? Right here. There's a Fuji panoramic ropeway. One of the most crowded places in Mount Fuji. So once again, I decided that I would get up very early and get here to ride the panoramic ropeway over to, the top of this mountain here. From this mountain, you should be able to see Fuji-san very well. Very clearly on days where the clouds aren't coming, but unfortunately when I went there, the clouds were there. So, let me get some stuff here. Some images up. So, there is a famous onsen musume here. There's also a famous story. I don't remember the story right off the top of my head. I will try and summarize the story. to the best of my ability. Very child-friendly, by the way. I'll let you know that is 100% a lie, but I will tell it to you anyway. Let me get the pictures up first, though. You will see around Fujikawa Guchiko statues of a tanuki, which is a raccoon dog, and a rabbit. There is a famous story associated to this region about those two, the rabbit and the tanuki. So this is the onsen musume of Kawaguchiko. I just took pictures of that when I could. They have these ferries here that you can ride around the lakes on, but I did not have time to do that because I had something that I really wanted to do, and it was kind of a letdown when I did it. But we'll get to that in a bit. This is pretty cool, though. I do like this. I wish I could have ridden it. It would have been pretty nice. These two. So this is the Mount Fuji panoramic ropeway. There is a ropeway here. It's very popular. Opens up at 9 a.m. I got there like 8:30, and there was already a pretty sizable line there. When I got down from the ropeway, the line already was a hour-long wait if you were to show up after I gotten back down, and I was down in like maybe less than an hour. But anyway, these two, the tanuki and the rabbit. There's a story of a mischievous tanuki who was going around and causing trouble for a whole bunch of humans that lived in the area. Tanuki are shapeshifters. Keep that in mind, because one of the farmers in the area, who was friends with this rabbit here, because apparently that was just normal in the past, to have talking animals that you could become friends with, farmer catches the tanuki, decides he's going to kill it. I think he was going to eat it, actually, and he was going to, like, have his wife prepare it. Well, the tanuki... While the farmer went out to go get some like vegetables to prepare with the mill, he just left the tanuki kind of like constrained and told his wife not to let it go and just prepare dinner. Well, the tanuki was all like, "Oh, if you free me, I'll teach you a meal that only a tanuki could teach you." And so the woman decided that she would do that and let the tanuki go. So the tanuki stabbed her and killed her. Then he chopped her up and turned her into food. A soup. He then transformed into the woman and fed the soup to the farmer when he came back. Once the farmer had finished eating his wife, the tanuki transformed back into the tanuki. I was like, "Ha! I killed your wife and you just ate her. Sucks to be you." And so the farmer became depressed. The rabbit saw the farmer depressed and decided to take revenge on the tanuki. So first, she, let me see if I can find this. Let me see where this is. Hold on, guys. We'll come back to these. Here we go. First, it's just a prank, bro. So first, the rabbit, who's a female, the tanuki's male, by the way. The rabbit got a whole bunch of stuff that she was trying to, well, it was basically a staged, a bunch of very dry wood and sticks and stuff, and got along the path that the tanuki was gonna go and was all like, "Oh, if some handsome dashing male could come and help me, I'd be very grateful." So the tanuki was like, "Oh, I'm handsome, I'm dashing, I can help you." So she was like, "Oh, well, can you grab these trees and these woods and these sticks and carry them for me?" He's like, "Sure." So he puts it on, and then she fucking catches it on fire and tries to burn the tanuki alive or something. It singes the tanuki's back, by the way. It doesn't actually kill him. And then she was like, "Oh, whoa, I have no idea what just happened. It just caught fire, you know? Weird, right?" So then, because the tanuki was still alive, the rabbit invites the tanuki out on a date on these boats. I don't remember what the boat was made out of, but it was made out of something that would sink. Somehow, I'm not really sure, she convinces the tanuki to get into this boat that was obviously not going to be able to float, sails to the middle of the lake, and, well, basically smacks the tanuki with an oar, and then the tanuki falls into the water and drowns and dies. Yeah, that's the story of this rabbit and the tanuki. Very, very child-friendly. I have no idea why this is a story that was passed down from generation to generation, but it did. And this is the story of the area, the lake. It kind of just like ends. I was expecting it to be longer, but no. Rabbit is such a master gaslighter. Yeah, the rabbit's basically like, haha, you killed the farmer's wife and I'm friends with the farmer. Hope you can swim. Anyway, yeah, so this is the Mount Fuji panoramic ropeway. You get up to the top of the ropeway and you can see Fujisan all the way across the valley between these two mountains. Very beautiful. If the clouds were out of the way. Unfortunately, the clouds weren't out of the way. So I took pictures of the lake instead, and you can see some of the ferries that you could take around here. Try taking a closer picture of Fujisan. Still, half of it is obscured by clouds. Saw the Onsen Musume again, so I had to take a picture of her. She's my new girlfriend, guys. Saw a shrine. It's a rabbit shrine. I guess they worship the rabbit here because of, you know, the story. The Usagi Jinja. There is a little romantic heart thing where you can, like, grab the bell and ring it while looking over at Fujisan. I did take a picture of Mount Fuji through the heart. Unfortunately, it turned out really terribly, so... Not showing that. Certain manga genre would probably have a happy ending for the rabbit and the farmer. These were on the top of the gondolas. Yeah, I had to ride another gondola to get here, by the way. I hated it. I don't like riding gondolas. They suck. Then I took a bus to a music box museum. I was going to go and tour the music box museum because I like music boxes. Turned out it was closed this day. Could have looked that up ahead of time. Actually, I did look it up ahead of time. I looked it up and saw that the next day from the day I was looking it up at was it was available. Unfortunately, the next day it had listed was actually 2 days in advance, not the next day. The next day was actually, I think it was Wednesday, and it just didn't mention Wednesday at all on the schedule. So it went from like Tuesday, open from this time to this time, Thursday, this time to this time, completely didn't say anything about Wednesday at all. So I didn't realize that, and I got here and I was like, oh, I can't go in here, it's closed. So that was upsetting. So then I got back on the bus and went to another park. Took some pictures of these Onsen Musume girls here in different outfits. And then at this park, but no, which park is this? I don't remember which park this is. Hold on, it's up here. I think it was like Oishi Park. Oishi Park, yeah, right here. So from here, I was able to see Fujisan at last, in its full glory. It is a very, very picturesque mountain. I can see why it's so famous now. I just wish that it was, you know, not shrouded by clouds the entire time I was there. Anyway, Oishi Park had a lot of flowers too, which I did take pictures of. Let me see. What do I have here? Let me just grab some of these. So if you guys have ever seen Yudo Camp, this place is very famous for the Yudo Camp. You can actually find some Yudo Camp goods here. Okay, I think I uploaded these in the opposite order. Or not. There we go. This is Oishi Park again. At a different angle, but the clouds are starting to move back in, unfortunately. Just got to bask in the magnificence of Fujisan. This is actually where I ate the lavender ice cream. By the way, it was at Oishi Park. The best ice cream I had in Japan. Some of the best ice cream I've ever had. And then I got back on a bus and tried to go to Motosuko. Motosuko is a famous place, especially with campers, which is why I brought up Yudo Camp. It is very famous with campers, and you will see Yudo Camp stuff around all these lakes, but I think that there's supposed to be Yudo Camp stuff at the campground. I did not get to the campground. There's another thing that I wanted to go to, but I want to say that this restaurant is in Yudo Camp. I might be wrong, but I think it is. I'm just not positive. I seemingly recall some sort of restaurant along one of the campsites in Yudo Camp, and this might have been it. And I really wanted to get off the bus here and eat here. But I wasn't sure if I could get back on another bus to get to where I wanted to go to, which was a thing that was going to have a limited amount of time I could be at. Called the Fuji Shiba Sakura Festival Observation Deck. Well, not the observation deck, but just the area here. The Peter Rabbit English Garden is actually what the area is called. Which lets me bring you to... here! Welcome to Peter Rabbit English Garden, guys, in Fuji Motosuko Resort. So, this place would have been beautiful had I come at a completely, like a week or two later. Oops, close out of one of them. Oh well. Let me see, which one was that? This one here. So, coming in from the way that the bus dropped us off at, you can see this stuff here. Pretty nice Western-style stuff with a whole bunch of food trucks around. But there's a restaurant over here that I really wanted to eat at. Called the Peter Rabbit English Garden Cafe. It has roast beef. I saw a lot of roast beef stuff for being advertised all over Japan. I don't know why. I guess it's like famous in Japan. You get like a little garden salad. This is a bloom pie. No idea what that is. You have these like... these are limited in quantity. I don't know how you're supposed to go around reserving them. They were sold out by the time I got there, I believe. But it's just a whole bunch of tiny cakes and teas. I ended up going with the roast beef. The roast beef was pretty good. Unfortunately, you do have to wait there. You have to pull a ticket, and then you have to wait until they can sit you. I had to wait for about 20 minutes before they would sit me, which was fine. You can actually like scan the ticket that they give you, and then it'll give you a text message, not a text message, an email message when it's ready, when your seat's ready. And you have to you have like 15 minutes to show up, otherwise they give your table away. But there was a whole bunch of Peter Rabbit goods here. Why is there an English garden here? No idea. But it was pretty cool. I just wish I came like 2 weeks later, because as you can see here, the flowers are still in the process of blooming. This place is supposed to be very famous for these, what are these called? They were called some sort of moss. Yeah. This is what it's supposed to look like when it's fully bloomed. Unfortunately, most of the flowers are still in the process of trying to bloom. So it was not the best timing on my part. But it was still a nice place. I had a little apple pie. The apple pie was kind of mid, to be honest, but the roast beef was actually pretty good. I liked it. These are our garlic flakes, by the way. And then this would have been the picture of Mount Fuji. But as you can see, the clouds decided to photo block me again. And I was very upset with that. So then I just walked through the garden. Things are blooming, but they're not all the way bloomed, which is unfortunate. But then they have a part of the garden dedicated to the entire story of Peter Rabbit. Which, if I would have focused on this, you would have been able to see. Actually, I think I did take pictures of some of these. I didn't develop them, though, so you're not going to be able to see them. And then they have a mound of flowers here that are supposed to be like Mount Fuji. And then they also have like a random door that's just open. And you take a picture of it with Mount Fuji in the background. Or you can stand in the middle of it and take a picture of it with Mount Fuji in the background. But yeah. So, guys, that was the last of that from Motosuko. My trip at Motosuko. As I mentioned earlier, I wanted to have Hoto, so I went back to Fuji Kawaguchiko. Somewhere around here. I don't remember exactly where. Oh, it's here, I think, actually. Here. This is where I ate at. That doesn't look like where I ate at, but yeah, that's it. That has to be it. Because it's right across the street from the station. And I got some Hoto. Like I said, the Hoto wasn't bad, but the stuff that I had in Kofu City was phenomenal Hoto. Of course, I had it overlooking a... I ate it while overlooking a gorge. Let me see if I can find that here. I don't remember specifically where it is. Shosenkyo. It was called Shosenkyo. It was somewhere around here. There's a gorge that you can take a picture. Well, not take a picture, but you can eat at a restaurant. There's a restaurant built onto the side of the gorge cliff, and you can look out over the gorge. The gorge is called Shosenkyo Gorge, though. Anyway, enough distractions. We are running very late on time now. It's 9:35. Holy crap. So, went back for the day. Ate Hoto. Went back for the day. I did see some Camp goods at the station. So, I did buy a Camp thing. I think I actually bought some chocolate, but I don't eat chocolate. I just bought it because I had a Camp on it. And then went back to my hotel, and then the next day I had to go to Yokohama, which is where I was staying for my last day of the trip. So, I don't have that many photos to show for this, unfortunately. I got a bit lazy with the development of photos at the end of this because I was trying to get everything developed by Monday. Because I didn't want to have to delay my streaming again any longer. So Yokohama is famous for Western influences back when Japan opened back up in the 1800s. It is also famous for Chinatown. It has a really large Chinatown in Yokohama. I did go to Chinatown and I ate some snacks, but honestly, I would have preferred eating actual Chinese cuisine. Especially since what I actually ended up eating for lunch was really upsetting. Not nearly as good as I was hoping it would be. But let me not jump too far ahead of myself. So Yokohama! Yokohama is a harbor city. Connected to Tokyo. I was staying on the harbor here. As you can see, I can walk out of my hotel and see the harbor. See some of the bridge, some of the boats. See across the harbor. It's pretty nice. They were also doing some flower stuff, some garden stuff in Yokohama's garden here. The Yamashita Park. Yamashita Park. The Future Rose Garden, that's what it's called. They had a whole bunch of flowers growing here. Which I did take pictures of a lot of these little... I guess they were called like what would you call these? They all had like different themes going on. Like a little rabbit garden. But my absolute favorite... not this one. I think it's the next one, actually. But this one looked really nice, too, because of all the red. But my absolute favorite was this one. I'm guessing because Freerun just ended, somebody thought it would be funny to have a mimic chest here. Yeah, I thought it was really funny, though. I had to take a picture of it. Anyway, as you probably saw on the map here, they have these red brick warehouses. Yeah, right here. Yokohama red brick warehouses. These warehouses, I believe, were originally built in the 1800s when Japan first opened up. I believe they were built by different countries from Europe. But these buildings have been repurposed into shopping malls, basically. They were really cool, and had a lot of restaurants in them as well. And they're right off on the harbor of Yokohama. So I would recommend coming here if you like to shop. I don't think I actually bought anything here except for lunch. There's also another little garden out front in between the two. So at the top floor of the main building, there is a Disney restaurant there. I did not eat here. But I thought it would be something that people would be interested in checking out if they were in Tokyo or Yokohama. You can go to Yokohama from Tokyo in like less than an hour. I went to a place called Shogun Burger and ate a triple cheeseburger. I actually ate here. I think I mentioned it at the in the last stream. In Kanazawa, I ate at a burger joint on my way back from Shirakawa-go. It was called Shogun Burger, and I had a forgot what it was called, but it was a caramelized onion and cheeseburger. It was probably in the top 5 burgers I've ever eaten. So I thought, oh, I'll go here again and try at the Yokohama branch and try it again. But this time I'll get the triple burger. It was okay. I was kind of upset by it because it was not nearly as good as what I had in Kanazawa. I have no idea if it's because I had a different burger that I ordered or if it's because the location used different meat or what. I do know that Kanazawa is famous for the Noto beef, which is one of the... what's it called? Noto beef is called something else. I think it's called like black beef. Korogyu or something like that. That might have been what they were using here for their burgers, which might be why it tasted delicious. Not the best burger I've ever had, but one of the top 5. And this was just not even in the top 10, honestly. This is the ugliest burger I've ever seen. Yeah. It was very upsetting. Like, it tasted fine. But compared to the the caramelized onion burger that I had in Kanazawa from the branch store, it was nothing compared to that. So then I took another picture of the warehouses before I left. And then I went to Chinatown after this. I do like this architecture, by the way. I wish that we would still build like this in the West. So, Yokohama has a famous Pokemon Center. Well, there's Pokemon Centers all over Japan, but I went to the one in Kanazawa. I went to the one in Hiroshima. Its mascot in Hiroshima is Red Gyarados, by the way. I don't know why. The one in Kanazawa's mascot is Milotic. I think it's Manaphy is the one for Yokohama. I'm not positive on that. But all the Pokemon Centers have their own like little mascot Pokemon that they're known for, and they sometimes have little special goods here. But across the store and the same building as the Pokemon Center, there was some sort of Jurassic Park thing going on. There's a pop-up store. I meant to come here just to check it out and see what was going on, because I have no idea what they could possibly be doing at a pop-up store for Jurassic Park. Like, there's obviously shirts of some sorts, but like that can't all be it, right? Anyway, so after I left there, I went to Akihabara because I was supposed to meet one of my friends for dinner that night. And had some time, had like 3 or 4 hours. So I was like, you know what, I'll go to Akihabara. So right outside of Akihabara Station, there's a Yo-Star store. Actually, it's part of Akihabara Station. Yo-Star being the famous gacha place. There's Blue Archive stuff in the store, but honestly, the selection in the store is not that much. There was barely anything in the store for you to buy. I'm not really sure what the purpose of it is. Maybe it's still in the process of being set up. I don't know. Anyway, left there, walked down the street of Akihabara and saw a pop-up store for Senran Banka. Like, I knew that Ubisoft was getting really famous for their visual novels, but I didn't realize that they were popular enough to just start making pop-up stores. So I came here. It was very not safe for work, by the way. Just so you guys know, Ubisoft, most of their games are eroge. I wasn't expecting that when I walked through the doors, but I was greeted with erotic content. Anyway, I ended up buying a book bag while I was there because I was running out of space. Like I mentioned in the last strip, that the Fubuki Dakimakura took up so much space that I did not have enough room for things. I was like carrying a whole bunch of stuff outside of my suitcases. It was just very inconvenient. So I bought a book bag while I was in the store. It was a Senran Banka book bag. Then I bought a a Snoopy taiyaki, and ate that. I also stopped by the Square Enix Cafe. They are reserved over a month out right now, so I could not eat there, which was fine because I was supposed to be eating with my friend for dinner that night anyway. But they did have a takeout section of the cafe, so I took out a Mako drink, which was basically very slight amounts of soda mixed with a whole bunch of water that I spent $9 for. Yeah, it was basically like water with a slight what was it? It was non-alcoholic, but it was something that would normally be found in alcoholic beverages. But it was not very strong flavor at all. They took like a small squeeze of that syrup and then just filled the rest of it up with water. And it was like, wow, this is $9 for nothing. Although they did give you a little gotcha coaster. And I got a Sephiroth coaster, which I guess is fine, but could have been better. Then I went and met my friend. We had Vietnamese, actually. It was probably the best Vietnamese food I've ever had. It was delicious. Beef pho. I had beef pho. I had some sort of Vietnamese fried chicken and some other stuff that was pretty good. It was those rice rolls. I forgot what they're called, but a spring roll. No, it wasn't a spring roll. Regardless, it was delicious. It was amazing. That's the end of my photos that I've actually developed, by the way, guys. So sorry, but that's it. That's a total of almost 4 hours about my trip to Japan. Eventually, I plan on making a video about a trip to Japan. I'm going to try to condense it down a whole lot more. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and next time you guys, or if you guys ever go to Japan, you can ask me some tips. If I make a video, I'm probably going to be including those tips into it, though. Again, the highlight of the trip was Shirakawa. I also very much enjoyed Matsumoto. I need to go back to Suwa, so I can do the rest of that city. I need to go back to Fuji and do the rest of Fuji that I didn't get to do. And, I think the next trip to Japan, I'm going to be focusing to northern Japan. That's not going to happen for several years, though. My last trip to Japan was 5 years ago, like in 2019. So it's probably going to be at least that much time before I go back to Japan. And I do need to go to northern Japan. I need to see Sapporo. I want to go to Aomori. I want to eat their apples here. They're famous for apples. Oh, by the way, that's something I want to say. Apples in Japan are amazing. American apples, they don't hold a candle to Japanese apples. I ate a Japanese apple my first trip to Japan, and when I came back to America, I could not taste apple anymore. It was actually kind of upsetting. I don't know why, but America, fix your shit when it comes to apple production. I don't know who produces the most apples in America. We're just going over the entire country. Fix your shit, guys. Yeah, my taste buds got NTR'd, basically, by the Japanese apple. I would eat the Japanese apple. It was so good. It came back to America. It just didn't do it for me anymore. Anyway, I'm growing my own apples now and my own apple trees. It's going to take a couple of years before I get there, but Canada produces the most apples in America. Well, Canada! Fix your shit! Yeah, it's really upsetting just how flavorless the apples in America are now. I used to eat apples like every day. The apples in America are in Japan are amazing. Nagano's famous for apples. There are a lot of apple things in Nagano. I think Niigata's famous for apples, and Aomori's famous for apples. So yes, apples are great when they're good, when they're Japanese, not when they're American or Canadian or whatever. Basically the same thing. Haha. Offending all the Canadians in my audience. Yes, I ate a whole lot of food while I was in Japan, but I also walked a lot. Like I said, I don't have an odometer, but I probably walked around 80,000 steps every day, except for on my rest day, which I probably only went to about... Probably my rest day and my day to Nara, which I probably only went about 20,000 steps on both of those. Maybe a little bit more on the Nara trip. Regarding apples, I heard the apples are from the year prior. I'm not sure if that's accurate. Really? I guess that makes sense. It's not really apple season right now, yet they still had a whole lot of apple stuff going on in Nagano. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, guys, that's it for this stream. Gonna go ahead and end the stream here. Hope you all enjoyed it. I don't know if I can stream this weekend. I'm actually having family coming over, so I might not be able to stream on Friday. So I think the next stream probably is going to be on Monday. Maybe my family's not coming until Saturday, so if they're only coming on Saturday, then I can probably stream. I'll post it on Twitter if I do. So guys, thank y'all for coming. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you all again next time. Bye for now.